everyone, I'm Maureen Dinkins, and today we will be doing a yoga practice involving back bends. We're going to be doing these back bends to help illuminate and align the chakras. If you ever feel stuck energy in your body, it can mean that maybe there is a thought process or something that you're just not able to get over in your mind. There are 7 chakras, and the chakras start with the root chakra, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And they also represent different stages of life, from birth, childhood, young adult, adulthood, and to enlightenment, which is the crown chakra. Oftentimes we find stuck energy in our throat or our solar plexus, and a great way to open up these areas of energy is to do back bends. So today we will be doing 9 different variations of back bends, which is a great way to kind of open up the chakras, release some stuck energy, and also you're only as young as your spine is flexible. So if you have never done back bends before, this will be a very challenging class, but it is also a good place to start. I will be starting with some back bends on the belly. Then we'll be doing a few on the knees, and then finally we'll do Urdhva Dhanurasana, which is upward facing bow, lying on your back in a back bend. So I encourage you to try the easy ones first, and as you grow and change and become stronger and your spine becomes more flexible and fluid, you'll be able to move on to deeper, more challenging back bends. So if you're ready, let's get started. Bring your left hand on top of your right hand as you sit in a comfortable seated position. We're going to focus on the breath right now, creating a breath you'll keep throughout your practice. Now, whenever postures or poses get a little bit difficult, we tend to shorten and hold our breath. So for today, I want you to do the best that you can to keep the breath flowing in and out of the body. Slowly breathe in and out through your nose. As you inhale, fill the lungs completely. And as you exhale, breathe all of the air out and imagine you're trying to fog a mirror with your nose. Inhaling, slowly filling the lungs completely. And exhaling like you're fogging a mirror with your nose. This is how you want to continue to breathe throughout your practice today. This controlled, deep breathing with sound is what makes yoga different from other types of physical activities. In yoga, we focus on breathing. And when the breath is steady and the mind is cleared up a little, then we start to move the body into the postures. Before we start this chakra awakening, we want to make sure the spine is as straight as we can make it. So as you ground down into your sits bones, try to lengthen and straighten your spine, reaching out through the crown of your head. Relax your shoulders, arms, and hands, and soften into your hips and knees. Turn your attention to the energy running up and down your spine. All the messages from the body to the brain and from the brain back to the body. The spine is the super highway of information between the brain and the body. When the mind has good thoughts, the body feels good. When the body feels good, the brain has good thoughts. They work together, and today we will make a little bit of effort to try to continue to enhance the connection between the body and the mind. When you're ready, open your eyes, and let's come forward onto the hands and knees. We're just going to do some gentle cat-cow warm-ups before we start our back bend. So spread your fingers nice and wide. Separate your knees about hip width apart, and we're just going to inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, bring your chin to your chest, and round through the upper back, spreading the shoulder blades. Inhale, arch the back, look up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, chin to chest. Inhale, arch the back, look up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, chin to chest. And let's do one more set. Inhale, arch the back, drop your belly, look up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the back, bring your chin to your chest. And inhale, come to a neutral spine. Bring your toes together, spread your knees, sit on your heels, and rest in pose of the child. Continue your deep breathing with sound. As you inhale to lift your head, come back up to the hands and knees, and we're going to inhale into a plank position. Look forward. Exhale, elbows in, lower down. See if you can hover over the mat. Hold, and slowly lower all the way down for the first set of back bends we're going to be doing today. So back bend number 1 is called Sphinx pose. This is something any beginner can do, and it's a great way to open up the throat and the heart. So let's bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. Spread your fingertips wide and bring your feet together, pointing your toes, so your legs and feet are together. And we're going to pull the chest forward, using the arms. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, lift the head, look up. We're going to hold here for 6 breaths. Squeeze the legs, look up, breathing for 1, a gentle pulling on the mat. 2, hips are down, belly is up. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And on your 6th exhale, slowly lower down. Turn your head to one side and bring your arms down by your sides. Holding here. Resting. 3 breaths. And inhale, lift your head. The second back bend that we'll be visiting today is called Cobra Pose. So Cobra Pose is an intro pose to upward facing dog. So you can probably see in the direction we're going right now. So for Cobra Pose, the fingertips are basically in line with the tops of the shoulders. So like this, right here. And then you're going to bring your elbows in, and it's a mini lift. We're not straightening the arms. It's just a mini lift to get the rib cage up off the mat. Spread the fingers, squeeze the arms into the body, look up. Breathing for 1, breathing for 2, and your body raises and falls with the breath, so that's why it's like a cobra. 3, use the strength in your back. 4, 5, lift your chest a little higher. And 6, turn your head to one side and rest. Doesn't matter which side. 3 breaths in rest. Breathing for 1. Breathing for 2. And 3. Good. Let's come on up to the elbows for a moment. This next pose is called locust posture, and we're going to be doing 2 variations of it. This is an amazing strengthener for your back. If you have weak back muscles, you should probably be practicing this pose 4 or 5 times a week, 4 or 5 times a day. So let's bring the arms back behind us like we were in resting pose. Legs are together. And here we're pressing the fingernails into the mat. Lift the legs, lift the chest, hold for 6, look up. Breathing for 1, 2, lift those legs, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I know it's hard. Rest down. We're going to do the second variation. Rest, rest, rest. Breathing for 1. Breathing for 2. And 3. So, the next version of locust posture is similar to cobra, but not exactly. So we're going to bring the thumbs right by the rib cage, the lower rib cage, and the elbows are squeezing in. So my arms are almost at a 90-degree angle. And we're going to lift the legs and lift the torso. You're not pushing because you just want to be able to lift the hands. They're just there to support you. Look up, 6 breaths. Breathing 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift those legs, lift the chest. 5. And 6. Good. Now we're going to press it back into pose of the child. Bring your knees together, reach your hands forward, let your head bow down between your arms and rest. And then after 5 or 6 breaths in rest, come on back up to the hands and knees. We're going to do a couple more back bends on the mat. So this one everybody is familiar with. It is called upward facing dog, and you may see people just do it like this. We're going to talk about the proper way to do upward facing dog right now, since it is such a popular pose in every yoga class. So with upward facing dog, your hands are in the same place as cobra. Your fingertips meet the top of your shoulder. And then you're going to bring your legs about hip width apart and straighten your arms. So this is option 1 for a beginner. So your hands are a little bit in front of your shoulders, but for a more advanced person, you want to come up to the tops of the feet. Your body is up off the mat, and you're using your hands to pull your chest between your arms. Lift the legs, drop the hips, look up, hold for 6 breaths. Breathing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Drop the knees, press it back. Rest in pose of the child. And then after 3 or so breaths, let's inhale, come to tabletop again. And we're going to do a couple more on the mat with our belly down. So we did Sphinx, number 1, Cobra, number 2, Locust, versions A and B for number 3. Number 4 was Up Dog. So we only have 5 more to go. You're almost halfway there. All right, so this one is called Frog Pose. So as we come down onto the belly, we're going to do the right side, the left side, and then this is where it becomes more advanced because you're going to try to do both sides at the same time. So take your left forearm and bring it right underneath you, like right in front of you. And you want your forearm to run parallel to the front edge of your mat. What we're going to do is we're going to bend the right knee. take the right hand around the right knee and pull. Now, if this is enough for you, stay here. If you can bring your elbow, bend it, bring it up to the sky, turn your hands so your fingers are around the tops of your toes, go ahead and do that. And breathe here. Breathing for 1, 2, and 3. Exhale, release. So this is just the warm-up for frog pose. Let's do the other side, bringing that right forearm right in front of you. Go ahead and take the foot and press down into the foot, cupping the fingers around the tops of the toes. Breathing for 1, 2, and 3. Exhale and release. Great. Okay, so you did the right leg and the left leg. If that's as far as you can go, do those legs again, 3 breaths each. I'm going to do the full expression of the pose, and I'm going to try to hold it for 6 whole breaths. So I hope you're doing it with me. All right, so we're going to bend that right knee, bring the right fingers around the top of the foot, reach back. Let's do the left side. See how low my chest goes. Inhale, lift up. Press into the feet, lift the chest. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Release the feet, press it back, rest in pose of the child. Give your back a break. And then inhale, come back to hands and knees. This will be the last back bend we'll do on our belly. It's called Dhanurasana or bow pose. So and you've probably seen this a million times on Instagram. So we're gonna come on down to the belly, grab the ankles. If you can't grab the ankles, it's okay to grab the feet. Bring the toes together. It's much more challenging with the toes together than with the feet spread, and it helps protect the inner knees. So if you have knee issues, keep those feet together. You don't have to bend the back as high. Ready? Inhale, lift the legs, lift the chest. Breathing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Exhale, release it down, press it back, rest in pose of the child. After several breaths, go ahead and come on up. So there we kind of opened into the hips a little bit, working the root and sacral chakras. We did a little bit of rocking in cobra pose, so we kind of massaged the solar plexus. With these back bends on the knees, we're going to be doing a lot to open the heart and throat chakras. So if you feel like it's hard to breathe or your heart starts racing, really just come up. Take a slow, deep breath and try again. It's just the body adapting to an uncomfortable situation. And at first, an uncomfortable situation starts with resistance. But you can do it, and it's going to be fine, and you're not going to hurt yourself. All right, so the first back bend on the knees is called Ustrasana. There are several variations of Ustrasana. The first one is just doing it with your hands on your back, hips forward, head up. The second one is to reach back and grab your heels. So I'm going to grab my heels, but the cues for the adjustments are still the same. So hands on your back or grab your heels. Lift your chest to the sky like someone's pulling your heart up. And if you're with your hands on your back, look to the ceiling. If you have your hands on your heels, look to the wall behind you. Breathing for 1. You may feel some warmth around the hips area. Just keep breathing. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Inhale, come up. Bring your knees together. Rest in pose of the child. This time we're going to take the hands behind us and let the shoulders round over the knees. And then inhale, come on up. Now this next pose is an intense back bend, so you're welcome to do Ustrasana or camel pose, again, the one we just did. This is called Kapotasana, which is king pigeon pose. So if you're ready, let's get started. So as you come to your knees, you're going to spread your knees about hip width apart, maybe even a little bit wider. Again, this really loosens up some stuck energy in the throat and heart chakras. Bring your hands together in front of you and inhale, bring your hands up over your head as you push your hips forward and lift your heart. Reach back with your hands, and you can stay here if you're strong, or bring your hands all the way to the mat, breathing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Inhale, come up. Exhale, rest in pose of the child. And then when you're ready, inhale, slowly come on back up, and we are going to move to our final back bend. So we did Sphinx, Cobra, Locust, A and B, Frog, Camel, King Pigeon, and now we're going to be doing upward facing bow pose. We're going to be doing it 2 times because I'm going to show you 2 different variations, bridge pose and then the full expression. Then we can rest. So let's bring the legs around front and straighten the legs. Slowly roll on down to your back. And while we're here, the back is probably already sore, so let's just bring the knees into the chest and rock from side to side. Bring your feet flat on your mat, bending your knees and making sure that your heels are as close to your hips as possible. And then press into your feet, lift your hips up, interlace your fingers underneath you, and walk your shoulder blades in towards each other as you lift your chin slightly to keep your neck up off the mat. We don't want any crunching, just a little bit of a lift, and press into the feet, lift those hips higher. Breathing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Exhale, lower down slowly. Don't move your feet. If that was challenging for you, do that pose again. If that was easy for you, we're going to do back bends, full upward facing bow together. So bring your hands by your shoulders. Keep your hands and feet flat on an inhale. Press into the feet, press into the hands, straighten the arms and come up into full bow. And then if you can walk your hands towards your feet, go ahead. Breathing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Exhale to come down slowly and hug your knees into your chest. Rock from side to side, massage your back. I want you to cross one ankle over the other and slowly roll up to a seated position. Straighten your legs, take your arms underneath your knees, rest the legs down onto the arms, just giving it a little pressure. Soft legs here, and bow your head down to your knees. We're going to hold here for 9 breaths. And then slowly inhale, lift your head, release your arms, and come to a comfortable cross-legged position. Rest your left hand on top of your right hand. That was a lot of work that you did today. Your back might feel sore. You might feel a little bit of a dull headache or some different sensations. I encourage you to drink a lot of water today, and we're going to lay down and take rest after class, and rest for as long as you need to. If some interesting feelings come up or thoughts, write them down, because this, if you don't do back bends regularly, can be a really intense process to go through. So, thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and may you go with peace. Namaste.